don't script my videos. I really enjoy the authentic content, and I want to talk about why I think it's important to have a personal brand and why I think you should be too, and how we can use AI to do this, and most importantly, how can we rise above the noise of this garbage slop that's about to hit the world. Stick around. The problem we have right now in the content space is AI. It's both. It's a blessing and it's actually a fucking problem. The problem it is because everyone, and I mean like everyone who's never even thought about doing content is doing content. People that just couldn't speak because of language barrier or shyness, introversion, what the hell ever, they're just now making this faceless YouTube channels, and those YouTube channels are just polluting the internet. There's no new information. There's no new takes. There's absolutely very little value. Things you can ask ChatGPT or Google is just being broadcasted on YouTube. So that's the problem. That's the problem. The slop, the garbage, the half-assed content. The good thing. Why this is a good thing? Because we can now use AI to research ideas way faster. We can now use AI to write hooks and write content better. The content still comes from here. We still need to have perspective. We still need to have our own takes. But now we can ingest that into AI and have AI help. I want to say this word help again. Help, assist, maybe even guide us in this content creation space. Do you understand the difference? And this is very important. If you don't understand this, you're not going to understand how you're going to rise above the noise. The idea comes from here, from the human brain, not from AI. And I know some of you are going to say, oh, it's about the prompt and you just got to prompt it right. That's cool and all. But what we hear after isn't the information. The information is available. In fact, information is free. Information is in the plenty. We don't need more information. I'm sorry, we don't need more information. We don't need more generic 7 tips on how to make better YouTube content. We don't need any of this or 20 hooks you must use today. What we need is a perspective. What we are seeking, what we are struggling and starving for is perspective on things that we're trying to understand. We want opinions of people just like us, maybe smarter than us, talking about things we don't understand in a way that we understand and relate. I spent last 20 years building software. I understand software. I can talk about software all day. But what I don't want to talk about is software all day, because software is a commodity. Software is utility. You just build this, it solves the problem. And ideally, in a good, perfect world, you forget about it. It doesn't bother you, it works. That's what software is. Software is supposed to solve the problems, not create problems, not create discussion. I don't want to talk about software. I want to forget about the software. I want to have software work the way it's supposed to work. But I do want to talk about content, because content is ideas. And I like ideas, and I like talking about the ideas. So, perspective is what we lack. We got so much repetition and reiteration of things that we've heard so many times before. The same memes, the same jokes, the same stories, the same self-help guruism shit nobody cares about. I want to hear your perspective on AI. I want to hear your individual personal take. What do you think is going to happen? And that's a discussion. You might think AI is going to replace all labor, we're not going to have workers, and we will have UBI. You might think that. And you think it's going to be great. And you might believe that UBI will relieve us of physical or mental labor, and we will live in euphoric utopian world where everything is plentiful. You, another listener, I believe that no, the UBI is going to be a method of control. UBI is going to be a distraction for the population to get people sedated, distracted. With UBI, there might come a lot of conditions, like you can only use UBI to buy bio-slop that you consume. You don't eat it, you consume it. You might not use your UBI to buy things you like. You might not use UBI to buy elements of pleasure. You might not use your UBI to buy meat. That's a discussion. We have different perspectives, we have different opinions, we have different views. And by sharing these views, we have a human to human engagement. This is what AI can never, ever do. This is what AI is lacking. It lacks discussion. You can talk to ChatGPT, it pretends to be human, but after a while you start recognizing the pattern, you start recognizing it acts in the same way every single chat. There's zero perspective there, there's zero novel and interesting ideas. It is creative, but it's not creative. It can create, but it's not fantasizing. You can ask your AI to create something wild, crazy, a dog with chips hanging off his ears, riding a horse on a flat earth, standing on 3 planets. Whatever. You can create a word salad with AI. It's good. It will get creative, but it's garbage. There's no soul in that. Not in the sense of spirituals, not in the sense of religion soul. There's very little emotional ambition behind what AI does, and only some people can understand the emotional ambition. The emotional ambition we're talking about is it's motivated by desire to do something, purpose and meaning. It's not motivated by next predictable token. It's not motivated by what it's been trained on. I mean, obviously we are motivated by what's been trained on. We've been trained on since we were little kids. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is English word compel. The word compel. When you feel compelled to do something, where does it come from, that urge? You stand in the street and you just cross it, and as you cross it, you realize why you crossed it. You crossed it because you need to go somewhere. That's purpose driven. That's goal oriented. You need to go somewhere, you need to cross the street. Let's say you sit on the couch, like I'm here right now, I'm bored, and I pick up an item. What compelled me to pick up this thing? I mean, I could have picked up this thing. It's SD card. I don't really have a lot of things. I could have picked up this cable, but my first choice was this. Why did I pick up this? Random? Something compelled me to pick it up. Sometimes I say things that later I regret. We all do that. Come on. Something compels us to say that. There's some kind of internal, behind the scenes, subconscious drive that compels us to say bad things with regret. What compels us to do? Sometimes we see a person and we're happy and we're in good mood and we want to say something nice to them and we compliment them, or we compliment our kids or wife, and we don't think about why we're doing this. We just feel compelled. We just feel the urge to do that. Or sometimes you see some injustice on the street and you compelled to get involved and stop what's going on and say something to the person who is violating the social norm. Why do we feel compelled? And sometimes we just say, fuck, I ain't my problem, I'm touching that. That's what AI does not have. And that's the end of that discussion. Compelled.